Hi, I'm Tina Bemis. You want to make a wreath with me today? Got a wreath kit in front of me, and it's got greens in it, and it's got a bag of goodies. And let's see what's in this bag. Got some decorations for later on. We got branches and berries. Just put those off to the side for now. I got a wreath frame. I got some other goodies in the bag. Let's hold those off to the side, and a roll of wire. So we're going to set all that down off to the side, and we're going to start with the greens. Got my wreath frame. I'm going to start, before I do the greens, I'm going to go ahead and put the wire right onto the frame. I'm going to start with the roll of wire with the wire coming out from under the roll. And I like to make my wreaths at 6 o'clock, like it's a clock. This is 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Right at 6 o'clock, because it's easier to do it right smack in front of you than far away. So try, and I know you want to start up here, but it's much, much easier to start down here. If you hold this with your finger so it doesn't go anywhere, and you make 3 wraps over the top of the frame and let go. That's the key. Let go. 1, 2, 3, pull it nice and tight, and then it's attached. You don't have to make any kind of knots or anything. And then you're ready to start. So in our bundle of greens, we've got 3 kinds of greens. We have lots and lots and lots of fragrant balsam. That's this big bundle here. There's a little bit of white pine, and there's a little bit of a 3rd kind of green. It could be arborvitae, it could be juniper, it could be something different. We're going to start with this balsam. And you can cut it as you go, or you can cut it up all to begin with and then have all the cutting done all at once. Whatever works for you. You start with your piece of balsam and you measure from the tip down, from your thumb to your pinky. And then after you hit that spot, follow it all the way down to where the next branches come out and make a Y. That's where you cut it, always so that when you finished cutting, you see a Y. Why? Because I said so, because it's easier. Then you take a look at these next Y, these pieces here. If they are smaller than thumb to pinky, which both of these are, you leave them both on, or one on and cut one off, and follow it down, all the way down to where it makes the next Y. Here's a good example. This one's longer than thumb to pinky, so I'm going to cut that one off. But this one's smaller than thumb to pinky, plus this little nub in here. I'll leave those both on and cut it all the way down to here. And that's what you do. You're basically just trying to make a whole bunch of pieces. I'm even going to use that piece. We'll stick that in there. So these are all the pieces that I just cut. And we laid them out here like this so that you can see what they all look like. And you know you've done it right if you can put your hand in front of it and it's hand shaped, hand sized, and you have a little bit of a wrist like this. Then you've got what you need in order to make the bunches that you're going to make. So this is what we've got, and I'm going to just take these and stick them all in this pile here because I pre-cut a pile so you wouldn't have to stand there like some of those videos where you watch the guy cut the onions. Like, I know how to cut onions already, don't need to see it. So here is your big pile of balsam ready to go, and then we're going to cut. We've got arborvitae here, again thumb to pinky with a little bit of a wrist. Get some of these guys ready. A nice little pile. Just like that. And then the last one is this white pine, and I did this too. Thumb to pinky. You know you're right if you can squish it all together, fits in your hand, and it has a wrist piece. Okay, now let's make a bunch. In order to make a bunch, you just pick up pieces. This is an ugly piece, but I'm going to use it because I'm just going to stick it in the background. When you use every little bit of a piece, it pushes all the other greens up and makes the whole bunch look bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and use that piece. And then I'm going to put this really pretty one right on top. Now you can't tell that there was just wood underneath there, and it brings everything up a little bit bigger. I'm going to take one of these pieces that makes a Y, great thing to do with these Y pieces, I'm going to just stick it back down here so you can see. Squish that Y together. It's a lot easier to use that way. And go ahead and fill that in. We're just trying to make a nice fan shape or hand-shaped piece. So if you squish your Y's together, and I'm holding all of this in right here, right at that one place where they all come together. And you just keep putting in pieces. There's no set amount of pieces. When it's nice and full, you're done. So there's a nice full bunch. Then we're going to stick one piece of this arborvitae or cedar onto the bunch and one piece of white pine. And that's what your bunch should look like. Hand-shaped, hand-sized with the wrist. I like to make my wreaths clockwise, but it doesn't matter. You can do whichever way works for you. And we're going to wrap this 3 times. Magic number is 3. 1. Pull it really tight. Don't worry if you break the wire. If you break the wire, that's a good thing. Just continue on as if you were starting all over with 3 wraps. And I push it really hard so that when I let go, it is nice and attached. See, not gonna go anywhere in the wind. All right, and you're gonna get ready for your next bunch. We're going to make about 12 bunches to make it around the wreath. So you take your wire, you go down about 2 inches or so, wrap it down, and turn the frame. That's the second key to wreath making. Number 1. Don't be afraid to pinch the Y's closed. And number 2, don't forget to turn the frame. If you want to make a nice big wreath, turn the frame and watch this magic happen in just a second here. There, I've got my second bunch, nice and big, hand-shaped, hand-sized. 1 piece of arborvitae, 1 piece of white pine. Now, okay, I'm just going to push this off to the side. And you're smart enough to know that this next bunch isn't going to go on top of that bunch because you just built a tower. And you're smart enough to know that it doesn't go way down here with a gap. What you want to do is you want to go straight out. Don't cover what you just made. What you just made is already nice and full. We're going to cover these branches. We need these branches so that this bunch is wired to this bunch, but it goes straight out. As long as you've turned the wreath straight out, watch that outside edge so you make a nice curve. And it's 3 wraps. And you just keep doing that all the way around the wreath. 1, 2, 3. And then turn it again, right? Get it ready for the next bunch. Always straight out, straight out, straight out. And if you keep doing this all the way around, you will end up a wreath that looks about like this. This one here, this one was done. It probably needs 1 more bunch. When you get to the end, you have to lift up this first bunch that you made, take 1 more bunch and slide it in under the last one and then wrap it. So I'm going to pretend I did that one here just for the sake of the video. Then you take a look at your wreath. And if there's a section that's a little bit weak, sometimes when you start, the wreath is a little bit more narrow, it's not as full, and as you go, you get more confident, you're putting more and more in, but you got to match it. So don't be afraid. Take some of your greens right at the end and just strip these needles off the back and just shove those in under the wires until it's nice and full the way you want it. After you have the wreath the way you want it, you're going to grab the bow, the wreath kit, take the bow, and there's 3 loops in this bow. Don't forget to open up your bow, poof your bow. Tracy made about 2,000 bows this year for you guys. Take the inner loop, there's 3 loops. Take the inner loop and pull it down towards the tails. And do the same on the other side. The inner loop, pulling it towards the tails. You're not gonna pull the thing apart. Don't be afraid to pull it nice and tight. And you open it up so that it looks like a flower. And you can take this guy with the wire and just wire it right onto your wreath where you want it. It can be the top, the bottom, the middle, but I usually put it in the weakest spot and then work from there. Then we've got some white branches, and you can just break these guys off and stick these all around your wreath. You can use your glue gun to do it, or you can just stick it underneath the wires. And let's get a few more in here. I should be using my pruning shears. Sometimes I can do it with my fingers in a hurry. I like to go in the same direction that the greens are going. You see how the greens, the tips of the greens point this way? Looks a little funky if you go the other way. So I like to go the same direction. You can go all the way around, or you can cluster it. There's no wrong way. It's whatever looks good for you. Then I've also got the goodies in this bag. Bow goes in first, then the branches, then you can put your pine cones in, and these guys can get hot glued in. You've got 3 of them. You can cluster them together, or you can put them all around the wreath. Again, these guys have a pointy end. If you're going to put them on their side, put them in the same direction that the greens point, because it looks a little funny when it's backwards. So like that, or out like this. We got a CLB, also known as Cute Little Birdie. We can clip him onto a branch or just glue him on. We got some wild rose hips, and these were all collected on our farm. Karen every year collects our rose hips, and she collects about 1,500 bunches of these guys. And these have beautiful red ornamental berries, and you can stick those in same way and just glue your berries in all around. And last, a little bit of status, because everybody could elevate their status in life. This is a little dried flower that can go around, and that's your wreath.